It is a live event, and so there's going to be quite a lot of activity. And we'll also be bringing you some of the behind-the-scenes activity here on the channel. But right now, let's take a look at what we have for you from our business editor, Xolani Mbanjwa. Xolani Mbanjwa, a little bit earlier on, hearing from the Trade and Industry Minister, Ibrahim Patel, opening the business forum, saying that some 1,200 delegates from all over the world, essentially, or rather the global south, as well as other African countries, are here in attendance. You've got the Minister of Trade from Mozambique. You've also got the Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Area. How would you characterize some of the discussions that have been had so far?
Well, thank you very much, Dudu. It's been quite an eventful period, starting on Saturday. That was really the first day of BRICS Summit when it came to the discussions and deliberations. And Sunday as well it happened. We had manufacturing chats at the Sandton Convention Centre. Yesterday, a lot of memoranda of understanding were signed, and today, as this is the first day of the 15th BRICS Summit, we are here in Africa's so-called richest square mile to actually make sure that we take it home as South Africa as the host of BRICS. It has been quite fruitful as far as the engagements and the chats that I've been having with South African leaders, and many of them are talking exactly about that. All the world's eyes being in South Africa this week, in particular the fact that over 40 heads of state and government, including deputy presidents, are here to hear what the BRICS Summit is all about, and many of them want to join. But I'm not alone right now. I am with Sithembile Ntombela, who is the acting CEO at Brand SA, to talk to us about what this means for Brand South Africa. I wanted to start by talking about something that is quite important. Brand South Africa. South Africa's brand sort of wobbled a little bit. It has been hurt a little bit with the non-aligned stance, so-called non-aligned stance, and we heard from the AGOA side that there were ructions there. How is South African brand right now being viewed currently?
Thanks, Xolani, and to the viewers at home. I think firstly it's important to acknowledge that for a nation brand, so a country brand, to have a significant movement, or rather move a needle, you have to have had something really either catastrophic or something more memorable, like a World Cup, winning a World Cup. So what am I trying to say is that South Africa has always been very clear on its role in as far as the Ukraine and Russia issue, which the role has been about advocating peace, for peace, purely because that's who we are. It's in our DNA. Our forefathers are known for advocating for peace in the world, and why derail from that agenda that aims to build a cohesive and a consistent brand image. So I think we did take a stance as a country, and the stance was very clear. The two countries must work, because things are broken, through communications, and can be made, to work with communication. So from a brand image, I can tell you that media comes across often as an instrument that says it is all catastrophic in South Africa, but I can tell you we are not. The brand has not dented. Number one, it's too early to tell. We will see with the number of indices that we follow if really we have been harmed. But I can tell you, based on the sentiments and the tone, because those are quite instrumental in the nation brand space, South Africa is a brand that is still commanding space in the nation brand, in the world, globally. That is why today you see many heads of state. That is why you see investors that are here and are also imparting learnings on how we can make this BRIC consortium work in our favor.
Many people, Sithembile, are wondering how the trickle-down effect is going to work now. That is for big business, the image is for big business, but for ordinary South Africans, what should they take away from what is happening here today as far as agriculture is concerned, the skills development is concerned, and the 9 work streams that have been chosen through BRICS to say this is what we're going to work on as a country and as BRICS, including trade and investment. Those are quite interesting for them. What's in it for them?
So essentially, one will have to look at this BRICS consortium as in a holistic manner. What am I saying? The BRICS Business Council and the work streams that you're referring to, those are representatives from measures, from people that are very glued with the community. So it provides a platform. For instance, if you look what happened over the weekend, there were brands that I particularly didn't know, and I'm a South African. But the forums like this, they don't have to be perceived as elitist forums. But what is important is for us to make sure that we tell the story, number one, so that we debunk the myth that BRICS, it's just one of those talk shows and it never ever benefits the ordinary person on the streets. And it does, because I wouldn't have seen the brands that I saw at the exhibition. And when I asked, who gave you a chance? And then people were saying, look, it's through the DTIC that they were able to showcase their products and their craft. But also what it does, it gives them awareness. So we talk of demand creation from somebody who is in India and suddenly is interested in our craft. That's where then the trade exchange happens. And that person is a layman on the streets, because that's a person from a township or from a village. But also as Brand South Africa, we take the media and we host them. We take them into the Bundus. We went to the agricultural manufacturing, I think it's 2ZZ in Limpopo. They are notorious. I mean, they are phenomenal when it comes to issues of agriculture. And what better way to expose media to our competitive advantage? It's exactly through these things, because when we tell that story and we bring them closer to the human ground, the human aspect, it actually gives opportunities to the layman on the street. So that is how Xolani and these things sort of cascade. The problem is in not telling that story enough. And I think you and having you here to tell the story, it's actually giving us hope, because then we are not fighting the citizens that are disposed and that are despondent, and they've entirely lost hope in the government. But such a forum of this nature will result in job creation, will result in demand creation. And once we have nailed that, the sky is the limit for the country and the citizens.
Sithembile, thank you very much for your time this morning. Sithembile Ntombela is the acting CEO at Brand SA. This forum is going to lead to job creation, is going to lead to more trade, more investment, and that's what she believes in. As far as the brand South Africa is concerned, the brand itself is doing well at Dudu, and she says that it's one of those important things that the story needs to be told when it comes to South Africa, that it's not all doom and gloom. Back to you, Dudu.
Far from it, Xolani, and that myth that this is just another talk shop will be dispelled, hopefully, over the course of the next 3 days.